Hey everyone, Ben Cooper Radio, episode number 141. Wow. I've got a big guest today. This guest you will know of. I don't really think there is a human on this planet that doesn't know who this man is and what he's done for American burgers and stuff. Adam Richman, the man versus food genius, an absolute hero, legend, a character from TV that we immensely love, just from his character and how he thinks and talks about food. And it's interesting how his kind of journey segued, the kind of weight loss, where he's moving now, and how he's kind of viewing food as a bit more of a, part of life. The health side of things. It's a really fascinating interview, and I'm really glad I got to pin down Adam for 20 minutes. I only got 20 minutes of his time, so I had to be quick and sharp in my questions. His sort of PR team were quite specific, and that's awesome. Adam's a busy guy. I'm just amazed and humbled that we got him on the show. So I really hope you enjoy this interview. Here it is. Hello, so Adam Richman from Man vs. Food. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Mate, I've caught you halfway through a whirlwind book tour. How are you holding up?
A little bit of a wing and a prayer, but it's awesome. I mean, to see people that are enthusiastic about the book, in a different city each day. I mean, it's incredible. And again, I'm super grateful for the opportunity. So I definitely, I really do maintain that it's better to be busy than the alternative.
Oh, mate, one day I will be doing the same. I have something planned very similar for the UK next year, and I can imagine the buzz must be insane. Look, dude, I know we've only got about 15 minutes for this interview, and it's very kind for you to give up the tour. And when I put out that you were coming on the show, my kind of Facebook page went ballistic. There was a huge amount of kind of love for what you do, which is amazing. You've affected a lot of people with your work when really you kind of went around eating junk food, and you put an incredible twist on it. And because I work in kind of the nutrition, fitness and health space in the UK, the one question that came up time and time again when people were telling me their questions was, you obviously went around, you did all these feasts which were caloric mega bombs. What did you do, leading up to the show, coming out of the show, or the different episodes and eating challenges that you were doing to kind of try and mitigate what we'll call damage?
Yeah, no, that's actually it's a pretty apt descriptor of it. What I did before we even got started with the show was, what I personally did, I wanted to get because I was in pretty good health, and so I wanted to maintain good health rather than repair damage. So I got baseline cholesterol, my blood pressure, thank God, was always good, and really worked to maintain that rather than wait for a problem to arise and then have to address it. So I started taking a statin prophylactically, and actually there have been enough studies that actually advocate that if statin is part of the daily regimen, it's actually really good for venous health. So that was part of it. I would occasionally, if I knew I was dealing with a very high saturated fat meal, I would do some type of a medical grade, fat blocker I would get from my doctor, and I would do that as well. My doctor told me I needed to start looking at 45 minutes of, really good cardio as a pill. I needed to sort of look at activity as a necessity and not, an aesthetic indulgence. But if I was going to do the sort of culinary daredevilry that I was, then I needed to really focus on that. So that was a really big part of it. And then the other thing was really watching what I ate when I wasn't filming. And in fact, because I had the challenges to do it, made that very easy because watching what I ate sort of had a tactical reasoning. And the problem was when I no longer did the challenges, my weight gain accelerated because I could sample and taste and stuff, and I didn't need any kind of rigor because I didn't have a challenge to prepare for.
Wow, okay, interesting. You've eaten some seriously ridiculous food in your time on the show, all the different challenges. What's the one challenge that sticks in your mind as like, that was insane, and why?
I mean, I don't know if there's any one, and I'm not trying to be evasive at all. Like, they're all fairly insane. Like, because I've certainly been asked the question before, and I find myself often, about to say one, and then all of a sudden another thing pops into my mind. I think that there were times, where when the challenge ended, that I would feel pretty beat up. But I think that, the type of, sort of discomfort you may feel after a spicy challenge is its sort of own unique sort of unpleasantness as compared to like a big quantity one. But I don't think there was any one in particular that was pretty bad. I have to say that the big burger at the ballpark was definitely one of the worst ones, simply because it was so big, it had to be eaten so quickly, and the quality wasn't great. And I remember, just sort of, thinking, if this were of a better quality, I might feel a bit better.
Talking of quality, have you ever eaten a meal and gone, I've got to go to the bathroom, I've got to bring that back up again, that's just not sitting right?
No. I actually had spoken to I really don't know we're talking about personal bathroom habits, but I guess they were talking about fitness thing. But no, honestly, I spoke to my doctor in the very beginning about something like Ipecac, whatever. He said no, the notion of forcing yourself to have reverse peristalsis and do that would ruin your teeth, your esophageal lining, and no, I would do cleanses that I would get through my doctor, and at the end of challenges, I would drink pretty much close to a gallon of water, and he insisted I go to a treadmill pretty much right away. So my crew would, they'd go out, and they'd party, they'd have fun, and I'd go back to the hotel, and I'd go to the hotel gym and just start walking really slowly on a treadmill, drinking the water, and I would start these cleanses, and then I would, when I sort of flushed everything out of my system, I would have to then replenish electrolytes and, take probiotics and replace intestinal flora and fauna.
Wow. It's fascinating to hear the kind of regime off the back of it, because a lot of people would probably assume that you would just live the life surrounding the kind of the media hype and, like your team, go out, drink, and you probably would have done way more damage having a cocktail of alcohol and all sorts on top as well.
I mean, there were definitely times where if the challenge were really difficult or wasn't too physically diminishing, that I would I could enjoy myself a bit. But generally speaking, I always had to sort of be vigilant, and my doctor said I need to get my metabolism up right away, and he's 100% right. And the thing is, it's also a matter of knowing, you don't want that stuff in your system for very long. So any kind of cleanse that I would get from my doctor would work better if I was a little more active and hydrating.
So now that you've done the challenges, you're not filming the series anymore. What does your kind of regime look like? Because I know publicly there's been a lot of press about your weight loss journey. A few people made some comments that you'd gone vegan. I don't know if that was temporarily. How have things changed for you now? How do you view food and nutrition?
Well, that's essentially it. I didn't do any gimmick dieting. That stuff never sticks. I'd done the master cleanse and done all these other things. And you can lose weight in a quick sense, and it is nice to know you're cleansing your body out and giving your body a rest like that. But generally speaking, I really found that working with a nutritionist and working with a doctor was the best thing. And it's just a matter of taking in something relatively small, about 100 to 200 calories, every 2 to 2.5 hours, and making sure it's something that's nutritionally sound. Doing about a gallon of water every day, and trying not to eat late in terms of keeping the weight off. I've found has had profound effects. And the thing is, every so often I'll still indulge, but it's a system of checks and balances. And at the end, there's so many fad diets, but there's nothing quite like simple discipline and caloric restriction. In terms of the whole vegan rumor, the simple fact is it was a reporter who was looking for a sensationalist headline, and she spent the whole interview doing that, and she took one sentence and extrapolated it into a much bigger thing for clickbaiting. The truth is, when I was preparing for soccering, I went plant-based for about 3.5 months last year, like from about March to June, just to cut weight and to still get nutrients and get protein and everything. But it was a really effective means of keeping cholesterol out of my diet, keeping an incredibly low-fat diet, and still getting the nutrients I needed to train for football. And now, again, like I went out with my manager for a terrific barbecue meal in San Francisco, but today I'm going to obviously really, really keep the calories low, make sure I get in at least 3 miles of road work, and make sure I just drink a lot of water. And as long as I really think you respect your body and have that system of checks and balances, you're pretty good.
That is a very simple approach that is probably not heard of enough. Eat a load, and then the next day maybe just don't eat as much.
Well, yeah. The simple fact is like learning that you just needed to create this 3,500 calorie deficit to lose a pound. And it's not like complex alchemy. And it was funny. Someone had asked me, so like, what do you think the secret of weight loss is? And I finally think I figured out a definition of it. And it's not a secret, but for me, I think the key to weight loss is stringing together a series of moments of sacrifice and discipline. That's it. It's that moment-to-moment discipline and moment-to-moment sacrifice. And knowing, I know everybody's eating brownies, and I would love a brownie too because they look really, really good. But right now, if I'm trying to lose weight, fighting that urge to have that brownie, that immediate gratification, and doing that and making a habit of perhaps not going for that immediate gratification, but going towards something that your body needs as fuel, that's pleasurable to eat, but maybe not as super indulgent, you can get yourself to a place where you can have that brownie, but then you also know, all right, well, that's X amount of calories, so now I need to budget accordingly.
Nice. I love that. So how does it feel that you've made eating challenges big? You've kind of, really popularized the kind of event of eating. Especially in the UK, you'll go to restaurants in the UK and there will be challenges, man versus food challenges. Have you ever been to the UK and done any of the man versus food stuff here in the UK?
No. I mean, I haven't done a food challenge in over 4, almost 5 years now, and we never filmed outside the country. I mean, we filmed in Puerto Rico, which is U.S. territory, but never filmed in the UK. In terms of how I feel about it, I mean, these things were created to bring restaurants more business. And to know that independent businesses, we're talking nearly 2,000 independent businesses, have had an uptick in their financial success as a result of me pointing a camera at a challenge that they'd already had, is a tremendous feather in my cap, and I'm honored to have helped them because our economy here in the States for small and independent businesses, especially in food and beverage, is not a great one. And so to know that on any level, whether it's food challenges or pointing out that they make a great sandwich, with my new show, Man Finds Food, showing that they have great secret eats, whatever that is, to know that in any small part that I can bring an independent business some degree of financial success is a very big honor.
That's really cool. I know that restaurants, especially independents, really struggle just because of the culture that we currently live in, of where big restaurants are, where people travel, that kind of stuff. So to hear that there's almost an ulterior motive behind the show, I think is really valuable for people. You mentioned you've got another show at the moment. Is that what is currently taking up your time? Is that the focus? Because I know you're also on tour with a book.
Yeah, I mean, so a couple things. So Man Finds Food is on air here in the States and in the UK as well. So obviously, but right now that's just, promoting it through social media and, doing interviews, because in my opinion, it's the best travel food show I've done. I just finished shooting the second season of Food Fighters, which is the competition show that also started airing in the UK April 5th. On Food Network UK, and that's the one that's a home cook going up against 5 professional chefs. And that one we just shot 10 episodes of. And I'm about to leave in June to shoot a brand new show that I'm doing on ITV, and it's my first show that I'm shooting in England, specifically for an English audience, called Barbecue Champ. And I'm going to start shooting it in June. So that's going on in addition to the book tour that I'm currently on.
Will you do some kind of touring or any PR-based stuff in the UK, or will it literally be just the filming?
At present, right now, the filming is all that's scheduled, but I welcome any opportunity. And that's the best part about doing like any sort of fan event in the UK that I've been able to do, or just even going to a football match. So just the opportunity to meet people. I was walking around like Soho and Covent Garden. It was a beautiful weekend last weekend. I just got back on Sunday from London. And it was just to see, the cab driver or the bouncer at Walkabout at the Embankment or an RAF guy that happens to be leading St. Clement's. The fact that on any level, people in the UK are feeling a show done by a guy from Brooklyn, New York, that it was a labor of love is such a tremendous feeling. So if there's ever an opportunity to do any kind of fan outreach, not from any kind of financial gain, but an opportunity to meet fans from abroad, is something that I always think is super special.
Yeah, well, I hope that happens, and by all means, I'd love to see it. I think what you do is fantastic. Before you go, I know that our time is up. Your book, I'd love people to be able to find it and buy it. I assume it's on Amazon at the moment.
Yes, sir, it is. It's called Straight Up Tasty. The subtitle is Meals, Memories, and Mouthfuls from My Travels. It's my second book, my first cookbook, and I'm not a chef, and I never claimed to be. It's fun recipes. It's just a bunch of flavor bombs. And it's literally, some recipes have 2 ingredients. Some recipes may have more. But I have everything from side dishes to desserts to salads to appetizers to vegetable dishes to meat dishes, whatever. But I also wanted to make it fun. So I put in lists of great places for burgers, lists of great places that, for example, are known for one type of food but have a hidden gem on their menus. I have the whole history of chocolate in a rhyming poem. I have great places to go on dates. So it should be fun. And if you go to my website, theadamrichman.com, there's a link where you can actually order the book for both UK and the US.
That's amazing. People, go and buy that book. Adam, I know our time is up. Thank you very much for being on my show. It's great to have you on. All the best in the future. Keep doing what you're doing. I personally love what you do, and there's a huge amount of people that really respect what you've done and love your entertainment.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for having me on. And, I'm just so glad because we connected through social media, and I've kept up with everything you're doing with social media, and it's really been incredibly just really eye-opening, and I love what you're doing in terms of making people aware of their fitness and bringing it to the fore in a way that's not intimidating. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to talk to you, and I think that, quite honestly, as a guy who was a big guy for most of his life, and you're made to feel bad, and there's so many different ways to lose weight, and everyone feels that their way is the best, that it's actually really special to see somebody that's doing it from a place of positivity like you are.
Well, thank you very much, dude. Thank you very much. Well, Adam, all the best on the rest of your tour.
Thanks, buddy.
And I bid you farewell, and I hope to bump into you in London sometime in the future.
I would love that, man. Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
All right. Thank you very much, Adam.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow, what a guy. I mean, it was just such an honour to have him on. Love his programme. And I'm sure you'll agree that there was some really interesting stuff there, especially like how his medical team, the kind of things that he has to do after the show. And when you think about health, it's pretty rational, right? You can't have those kind of massive binges and expect there to be, no kind of consequence there. That does need to be managed, just like a binge on alcohol or a binge on anything, especially to that kind of excess. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this show. Adam was an awesome guest. There's more awesome guests lined up on this podcast as ever. Me and Rachel will be back on this show next week, all being well. I'm doing a lot of travelling at the moment, so that could change. Who knows? If you enjoyed the show, please do me the massive honour and leave a review on iTunes if you've not done so already. Please share it around on Facebook, Twitter. Share the love for this show. A lot of people are going to want to hear this man speak. Adam is a legend in the kind of TV food world, and his voice needs to be heard. So please do share it around. Friends and family are going to love this episode. So even if they listen to none other of my podcasts, get them to listen to this one because I think they're going to love them. And I will see you on the next podcast. Hey everyone, Ben Cooper Radio, episode number 140. Myself, Foxy Rachel Guy in the house. Rachel, how you doing?
Hello, Benny. I'm very well, thank you.